All right, this is Friday, September 19th, about 9 o'clock at night. So, the habit that I've been doing, I've been marking down some important things in my journal. There's another one. All right, and this is, people are here to experience certain things and go through certain situations in life, and that's always been like a interest of mine, the meaning of life. And it's always caught my interest, early on, when I could actually start understanding that, like, what that actually things have meaning. Now, I'm gonna tell you, there's been a couple of times when I have been knocked unconscious. All right, and in the process of coming to, depending on how long it takes you, you kind of float in certain stratas of understanding. All right, and when you first start coming to, you are at the very, very basic level. Like if it was math, it'd be 1 + 1 = 2. One time it was for me precept upon precept, line upon line. And I didn't take it any further than that, because I was understanding as I was coming to, precepts upon precept and line upon line. And I wasn't trying to take it any further than what was at hand. That was one time I'm recollecting. Another time, man, when I got knocked unconscious and was coming to, I was looking up in the sky and I seen a light shining. I seen the black sky. I think I might have seen, like, a star or two or something up in the sky. But I was taking the whole situation and looking at what was around me, and actually trying to figure out, like, who I was or what I was. It was like, first of all, you got to actually come to a realization of actually, what you are or who you are or whatever anything even is. I had that experience when I was coming to. An accident one time. 4-wheeler accident down the road. My ribs and everything were busted. I don't even know how long I was out for. I talked about that before. But anyway, and I'm just saying, and this is an important kind of day for me, night, because I was looking at Goldie. And she's actually still over there laying down. I'm going to show a picture of her. Because, I thought, I for something like something told me, Goldie's forever. Because I think, sometimes, I think about her sister Rosie. I had to take Rosie in, She was sick. I didn't want to see her suffer. I knew it was time for her to go. I mean, she was assaulted early on, by a bad lung infection. She's lucky to be alive. I don't know what happened. She's still always living on borrowed time, to my pleasure. She had pleasure too, because I remember her, like, rolling on her back, kicking her feet up in the air in the driveway on a happy day, just being happy and squiggling all like that and everything like that, because she was so happy to be alive. And then I think about all my dogs, Charlie. I think about them all. Look, I could rattle them all off, so many of them. was just a Charlie, you know. He was the first out of the whole tribe. And I got a tribe. I got 7 left. Man, I had 21 at one time. I even go all the way back to Buster. And, you know, Hercules. And then there was even that one little one that had... my daughter met a person, lived in downtown Tampa, and she took that dog. You know, she made it so pretty and everything that I had a hard time even... Actually, it's kind of like... It was like transformed into a whole nother dog. But I don't remember the name anymore. It makes me sad to think about that right now. Because every dog is important to me, but when they got new homes and everything... Okay, but the ones that lived with me, of course, I know them. But some of them, you know, got new homes and everything. I couldn't keep every dog. And I really didn't even intend to keep all the dogs that I had, like 21 dogs at one time. Big dogs. I used to give them like a whole garbage can full of butcher scrap a day. For about 6 years. You know, I mean, some of them got hit by trains. A train. One time, the train. You know, they went after 3 of them. You know, Commander Worf and Mickey and Nicky. You know, when I was a little kid, I used to sing with my dad, "Can't you hear the whistle blow? Coming round the bend. Can't you hear the whistle blow? And Dinah, blow your horn. Toot, toot. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Toot, toot." That's one thing my dad taught me. And I never would have thought, man, that someday I would have to merge Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Because I know what that horn sounds like on that train coming. And my dogs heard that horn too. They thought they needed to take that beast down. Because look, you know, they're dogs. And they didn't know any better. Made me sad. I was on my way to work, and I didn't know where they were. They got out. I mean, somebody left the gate open or something. I don't remember exactly that situation, but things have happened from other people before, and I don't take note of every kind of bad thing. Like, I'm not trying to blame, but you know, as Forrest Gump said in that movie, that not Hank Williams, but somebody Hank, famous guy, played Forrest Gump. Shit happens. And see, that was the whole point of my whole thinking. That we gotta live, that we're here to live through certain situations. And this situation right now. And so I was thinking, you know, certain situations, and you know, I heard this guy, Renato Mariotti, who does this podcast I see sometimes, you know, comes up on Legal AF. Well, there's a whole network of kind of things like Legal AF and Midas Touch, and this one here is it's complicated. Renato Mariotti and Asha Ragupta or something like that. So I know now Mariotti, he's Italian. Something Gupta, she's from India. But anyway, he makes a statement, and I'm just going to play it real quick, because he says, this is where we're at. And so, I'm just marking down today on the 19th of September at about 9 o'clock at night. And this is where I'm at. And I was thinking about, my grandchildren and even my kids, even though I feel like my kids, kind of, oh, what the hell. I don't know what the hell they're thinking, but look, man. I think about my grandkids. So I'm thinking about you. Like, I'm thinking that I'm actually talking to my grandkids, okay? Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and look.
Mm-hmm. It's not just, ABC needs to get its act together, and clean up its act or something. I mean, it was literally, they can do it the easy way or the hard way. That is a threat. I'm sorry, I don't know how else you take that. Like, they can either take action on Kimmel, the easy way, or they can learn something the hard way. And I am in a position to make things very hard for them to get what they want. I mean, personally, we can just, end this debate, maybe because agree to disagree. I think that is, ipso facto coercive.
I think, well, what I'm trying to do is, because a lot of our listeners get very frustrated because you and I will talk about how things should be in a podcast and then wonder why it doesn't play out that way in practice. And what I'm doing is trying to provide a preview of that. I think of how this would actually play out in the court. Because you have to think that the next star folks are going to come in and be like, oh, we weren't paying attention to the podcast. This is our total.
Are you suggesting that they'll lie? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that's what they're going to say. I don't know. I'm not going to peer into their hearts and see their motivations. I'm just telling you what I anticipate that they would say. And so then, that makes it a muddied factual matter, right? So I'm just telling you, this is where we're at. And I think this really gets to a broader issue, and I want to get to the broader issue here a little bit, Asha, which is, how we think about the First Amendment and free speech more broadly, because...
Okay, see, right now they're talking about free speech because Kimmel, just got canned because he said something about Charlie Kirk. No, because he said something about the president, because the president was like, he was asked, how he's doing about, Charlie Kirk getting killed, and he just immediately switched subject to, I don't know, the Rose Garden that he just got demolished and concreted over with pavement to make a ballroom or whatever the hell he's doing. I don't know. But so Kimmel was making fun, of Trump. It's like what you call a Freudian slip. It's just like his actions were telling. I mean, he just immediately changed the subject. Like, he didn't really care about Charlie Kirk anyway. Charlie Kirk was just another pig at the trough. I might put that on my front sign, Charlie Kirk was just a pig at the trough. Like, that's what Trump would say. He's just a pig at the trough, and that's what everybody is to Trump, just another pig at the trough, And he's the well, I would consider him like the main pig. He would consider himself, I don't know, like the owner of the pigs. Something like that. But anyway, see, the thing is, when he said this is where we're at, that was, Mariotti. He said this is where we're at. And, I just been thinking lately, I mean, how much of like a construct this is. Like I've been looking at a lot of science. I mean, like simulation theory and stuff. And this isn't all like a simulation. Anyway, that's what the whole you know, Bible kind of teaches is that there's a simulation for an afterlife. You know, I mean, that's basically, you know, if you believe in the Bible or something, that means, you know, like, okay, you want to believe that your life matters and that there's an afterlife and that, you know, this life does matter. So there's a simulation, you know, it's preparation for, you know, I mean, a lot of people, you know, they don't want to, you know, think that, you know, once they're dead, let's go out and they're gone, that's it, that's forever. That's why when I was thinking about Goldie, see, look, I'm gonna go ahead and get her now. Look, about when I, it was like it was spoken to me, almost like I said it to myself, or it was spoken to me, whichever way you want to look at it. But Goldie lasts forever. She's gonna last forever. And I was thinking about that about all my dogs. You know, they're always gonna be. They're not ever gonna not be. They're always gonna be. What they stand for and everything like that. And it's all good. But this is Goldie. See?
Dog baby, there you are. Yeah, my dog baby. Where's Sally in there? Where's Sally?
Yeah, Rip.
Oh no, you ain't ripping. No rip.
Anyway, so look, I make this note for myself, and I make it for you, my grandchildren, you know. Because, you know, I hope somebody is making you understand, you know, that even though, look, man, if you went through the simulations that I went through, well, you would understand actually what I'm talking about. You know, I'm just saying that it's like, you know, one of the songs that, you know, Bob Dylan, see, okay, this is John F. Kennedy and Bob Dylan both are my main kind of, that's where my engine started in that era, okay? So that was kind of gasoline it was fueled with, so to speak. You know, I mean, John F. Kennedy was my first president. Bob Dylan was actually, he's the main person. I mean, 1962, he became popular. That's the year I was born. I mean, he was young. It was like he's in his 80s. I'm in my 60s. You know, a great inspiration to me. But you know, he wrote the song. You know, well, the song about the wind blowing in the wind. How many times must a cannonball fly and stuff like that? You know, your meaning in life, like how long it's gonna take for a person like to learn, you know, or how long is it gonna take a person for other people to understand that a person did learn, and that's what and that's what understanding things through empathy and the vicarious kind of experience. And then also the times are changing, and you can't, you know, stand in the way. You can't make things what they were in the past, and that's what the whole Donald Trump's problem is. Like, if actually there's anything authentic about him at all, really seriously, like anything authentic, maybe there might be something authentic. Like, if there is anything authentic about him, then it would probably be that he's living in the past. And he wants things to be the way they were in the past. And he thinks the past was better than what it is now. Anyway, that's it. So, on my lesson today on the 19th, you know, my learning and my journal entry is such. You know, Goldie is forever. And this situation that you are in, like I am in today, and whenever you listen to this, you know, you are in your own situation, which is different than mine, but nevertheless, you're born for this moment. Remember, you were born for this moment. You got to go through it, and there's going to be some things you got to go through. You know, might even alienate you, make you feel alone, but you're never alone. You know, I think a lot of times, you know, like my dad and my mom are even still somewhat with me, you know, and even my grandparents might be looking down on me or something, you know, because people say that. Like, I heard a guy on today, I listened to somebody who was dead for a while. I mean, he said he even had rigor mortis. I mean, his body was stiff and everything when he came back to life. I don't see how that could be possible, but that's what it said on the show. And that's what he said, that he was already stiff. So, see, look, I don't really know how a person could be stiff and actually come back to life. All right. But if it did happen, it was certainly a miracle. Anyway, what he was saying is, you know, that actually when people pray and stuff like that, it actually does make a connection. And that there is a connection between, you know, what's way on the other side where the grass is greener. Like in heaven, if that's what you call it, you know. Bloom just came out here, look. He's a big old dog. But on the other side, kind of like C.S. Lewis said, you know, these are shadowlands. Real life hasn't begun yet. So that's what it is. All right, bye.